Thank you very much, Stefan. I was good. I've got a list here. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you are doing well today. Okay, so I will be truly brief, as I was expecting a guest of honor, but the guest is not here, so I did a brief briefing. First of all, on the International Day of the Girl, President María Fernanda Espinosa calls on leaders and communities around the world to promote girls' empowerment and to support them to fulfill their potential through education, equal opportunities, and gender equality. Yesterday, in her meeting with a young community leader from the Philippines, Honey Grace, who is 18 years old, President Espinosa talked about decent work and the need for girls to acquire the skills and training that they will need to face the future as professionals. And the theme this year is, with her, a skilled girl force. More information on our website. The president has been keeping a close watch on the progress of Hurricane Michael and the trail of havoc and destruction it has been leaving in its wake across the southeast of the United States. She has been particularly saddened to learn of the 2 deaths, one in Florida and the second one in Georgia. She also expressed sadness with the dramatic loss of life and damage due to floods, which started mid-September in Nigeria. And you will, of course, remember that early this month, the President of the General Assembly expressed her solidarity to victims of the earthquake and the tsunami in Indonesia. Okay, yesterday I was asked about the Human Rights Council election on Friday by Evelyn, and on that question about the elections for the Human Rights Council, which will take place tomorrow, the 12th of October, at the GA Hall at 10 a.m. There are 18 vacancies and 18 candidates. The group of African states has 5 seats and 5 candidates, and then we also have the 5 seats for the Asia-Pacific states and 5 candidates. 2 vacancies are available for the Eastern European states, and this region has candidates as well. Latin America and the Caribbean also have 3 seats, with 3 member states running for it. And finally, we have the group of Western European and other states with 3 vacant seats and 3 candidates. Election tomorrow, 10 a.m., and I am aware of the statement that we are going to do afterwards for you with the number of votes to address the needs of our colleagues. Okay, on the agenda today, President Espinosa is having bilateral meetings with the ambassador, separate meetings, with the Ambassador of Cyprus, Montenegro, Netherlands, also the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Denmark, who is in town, the President of ECOSOC, happened already, and the Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Amina Mohammed. And next week, we will resume a series of interviews with international media outlets. I think that's about it. And by the way, Richard, CNN, you asked me about the vote, correct, on Cuba, which is happening on the 31st of October. Yes. Yes, so now I told everybody. Yes, it's happening in October, okay, the 31st of October. No, yes. Next time we have to talk about that. Very, very, very good. Fair enough. Okay, so by the way, about dates on votes and then everything, on the website, we have the General Assembly website, schedule of plenary meetings, yeah? So you guys can go there and pull up all these dates, but I'm more than happy to give that to you. So that's basically it. Does anyone have any questions? Stefano.
Yes, I want to re-ask again to you about the violence against journalists and this particular case that happened in Turkey. Is the President of General Assembly satisfied the way the UN reacted to this event, or she wished that maybe the UN, through the Secretary General, through her position herself, will be more straightforward. I don't know, you have a statement that he's stronger than what we saw so far.
This remains a matter of concern for her, profound concern, of course. And we have been, actually, it is an important matter for everyone, and a proof of that is that we have been talking about this every day. And we truly expect that Mr. Khashoggi appears, because this happened on the 2nd of October, so correct me if I'm wrong. We are now on the 11th of October, so it's a disappearance for 9 days. We also hear from the spokesperson of the Secretary General that contacts have been made. And of course, I'm not the spokesperson to the Secretary General, but I'm participating in these briefings, as you all are. And then, of course, that these contacts, they are being made. President Espinosa, as I said before, is concerned. She is in favor, not only in favor, she defends press freedom. This is a serious matter, but we also understand that there is an investigation going on, and her, I said here before, but I would like to reiterate, she herself is in favor of, called on an independent, impartial investigation. And we all expect that Mr. Khashoggi will, soon we will find, we will have the answer for this disappearance. We are reading, she's keeping a close eye on media reports, as we all are. And at this very moment, that's what I have to share with you. If we have more on this, I will certainly bring it to the briefing tomorrow. But it is a very serious matter, and we are very concerned. The President of the General Assembly has said publicly she is profoundly concerned about that. It doesn't matter. It could be, as we said before, it could be any person. Of course, it's a member of the press, and we feel that much more on a personal level, because we are journalists, but it could be any human being that walks inside of a premises and disappears. So we need to get to the bottom of this, and she's keeping a close eye. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. About Human Rights Council selections, as you know, many governments with long records of human rights violations are members. Other authoritarian regimes are seeking membership. What does the PGA think about this? What does she believes about which government, which are good candidates to become members of Human Rights Council?
Member states are applying for this position. They are running as candidates, and they are going to be voted tomorrow by the General Assembly. This is a decision taken by member states on the General Assembly. It's not up to the President of the General Assembly to pick and choose candidates or to have opinions on candidates. This is a decision, a sovereign decision by the Assembly, and it's going to be made tomorrow. That's why I think our colleague from the AFP also was highlighting the importance of in the statement we're going to put tomorrow, not only say who is going to be elected, but also which countries, but also how many votes they have. I think this is also an indication. They have to be voted in. The fact that we have 5 candidates for 5 seats doesn't mean that everybody's going to be elected, or it doesn't mean that everybody's going to have the same amount of votes. We will see tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, because the election is tomorrow.
I'm not disputing the fact that PGA is not selecting the members of the council. I'm just saying, does she has any opinion about authoritarian regimes becoming member of a council that's supposed to defend human rights?
The PGA is the president of 193 countries, of course, I can get back to you on this, which is in a specific statement, if you want, and I can do that tomorrow. or after the elections, probably better. But I don't think that it's up to the PJ to comment on candidates to an election that's going to be freely democratic at the General Assembly. And it wouldn't also be appropriate because countries are being candidates, are running as candidates, and we shouldn't interfere in any election. It's up to the General Assembly to decide on this. But I definitely come back to you on a more specific point. Richard.
Hi, here's a question I'm asking for the first time. I may have missed it under Stefan, or unless you meant, what happened to the guest, the actress Frida Pinto?
Yes,
do we know why it was canceled?
That's a very good. I just asked Stefan as he left, and I said, "Is the guest there?" And he said, "No." So I don't know. We have to ask him. Or perhaps if somebody is watching this briefing right now, could let us know.
I know it's canceled. I'm asking why.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. No, I don't know about that. I mean, Steph probably, if he's watching, he may save us here with the information. Unfortunately, I don't know about this. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Today is the International Day of the Girl, and as you might have heard, it's also a time when the Me Too movement has hit India, especially the Indian media. I was just wondering, as the PJ is a woman herself, would she like to comment on the fact that it's the biggest story in India right now, the Me Too movement, that journalists have been harassed by even junior ministers who have come out here for the UNGA week from India, and senior editors, prominent personalities have all been called out. Does she want to show her solidarity in any way? I just want to ask about that.
I'm not familiar with this particular report, I have to say, but on general terms, I think this is a PGA that has been made very clearly that there is zero tolerance for sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, sexual violence. And of course, since we are talking about members of the press and journalists, there is also zero tolerance for journalists to be harassed or to be impeded to do their job. But I can't comment on this specific case because I'm not aware of these reports. But that's her stance, and she's very firm on this.
Would she be intending to speak about it in the future? Now, when she is familiarized with all that's happening.
I think she has. When you take a stance against sexual violence, sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, harassment of any kind, and harassment to members of the press, you are not talking about a specific area of the world. You're talking on universal terms. So it is zero tolerance, and zero is zero. It's not 0 plus 1 or minus 1. It's zero tolerance. It's not acceptable.
About the Human Rights Council, do you think the process, the way it's going to play out tomorrow, in all likelihood, based on the history, the precedents that have been set, it's just going to completely, in a sense, not completely, but at least partly damage the credibility of the Human Rights Council?
I'm a spokesperson, yeah. So my opinion here it really doesn't count at all, and it shouldn't. We are having elections for the Human Rights Council as we have elections for other bodies of this organization, and countries are entitled to make their decisions. When we're talking about the Human Rights Council in particular, you also are familiar with the periodical review. I mean, every single country is assessed, yeah? And this is a process. So I would leave this particular process to member states tomorrow, of course, who are able to decide and vote. And when it comes to Human Rights Council, to the Human Rights Council itself, there is a mechanism there called the periodical review that countries go through. So I would expect, this process to be finished. Does anyone have any other questions? No? Okay, so I wish you a wonderful afternoon, and I see you tomorrow with the specific points that you have asked for. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.